'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house our stomachs were stirring, and we awoke drooling at the mouth. For the turkey had been cooking overnight with care, and we all knew that Hashwa soon would be there. Hello, and
Bahamak.
in most Lebanese homes, Christmas morning has a very distinct smell. As kids, we never had to worry about oversleeping and missing out on presents. Our noses would work as foolproof alarm clocks, letting us know the turkey was done, Santa had come, and Hashwa was on the way. So I decided this year to cook the turkey on Christmas Eve. That way I would be able to have the video edited and posted by Christmas Eve for you lovely people. But the files took forever to transfer from my camera to my computer, so here I am at 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve scrambling to get this video posted. Turkey and Hashwa are traditional Middle Eastern dishes that you will see on most dinner tables on any given holiday. In my family, it's always been a staple on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. Hashwa is like a Middle Eastern stuffing. In fact, in Arabic, it literally means stuffing. But just like in America, no one actually stuffs it into anything anymore. Everyone cooks it separately. I just always thought that was weird that we call it stuffing, but we're not stuffing it into anything. I mean, the reason it's called stuffing is because they stuff it into the turkey, but no one does that anymore. Probably because it's a lot easier to cook something in a pot or an oven than it is inside of a cold raw bird. Anyways, let's start with the turkey. With this method, we're slow braising the bird rather than roasting it like you would with your traditional Thanksgiving or Christmas turkey. The best way to do it is start it right before bed. That way when you wake up in the morning, the turkey is ready and you can start your Hashwa. You'll need 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for every pound of turkey, plus 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. So for example, if you had a 10-pound turkey, you would use 10 teaspoons of salt, 10 teaspoons of cinnamon, plus 1 extra tablespoon of cinnamon. Here I have a 16-pound turkey, so I've got 1 bowl with 16 teaspoons of salt and 1 bowl with 16 teaspoons of cinnamon, plus 1 extra tablespoon, or 19 teaspoons of cinnamon. After you've mixed your salt and cinnamon, you want to rub it all over the turkey inside and out on both sides. Try to get it into every crevice, nook, and cranny. After you've rubbed all the seasoning on, make sure the turkey is breast side up, then fill it 3/4 of the way with water. Cover it tightly with a lid or tin foil, then place it in the oven at 250 degrees and
Set it and forget it.
to be safe, it's best to stick a pan underneath just in case it starts to boil over. This way you only have to clean the pan instead of the entire oven. Let the turkey cook for 8 hours, which is just enough time to go to sleep or go work a shift. And when you wake up or get home from work, you've got this juicy, slow braised turkey that's just falling off the bone waiting for you. Not only that, your house will smell so good. After your turkey is cooked, it's time to start the Hashwa. First, put 1 pound of butter over low heat to clarify for later. While the butter is melting, we need to strain the broth through a fine mesh strainer. First, transfer your turkey to another container, then strain your broth. Next, we'll need 3 to 4 pounds of steak. I usually try to use sirloin, but everything is so expensive right now. I wasn't about to spend $40 on a turkey, then another $50 on steak, so I've opted for some London broil instead. Some people even use chili grind in place of steak, which you can do, but cooking the meat will be a slightly different method. If you want to know how to make it with chili grind, just ask in the comments and I'll let you know what you'll need to do differently. You'll want to dice the steak pretty small, about 1/4 inch size pieces. Now this next step is optional. Traditionally, Hashwa doesn't have onions, but my Aunt Patty taught me it's okay as long as they're not visible, because it really does boost the flavor. So I add half a sweet onion and just mince it to where it's almost liquid. That way it just kind of melts into the meat. I usually use a knife, but you can use a food processor if you like. Just pulse it to a liquid basically. Now let's skim our butter and add about half of it to a large pot over high heat. Then add your meat, your onion, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Cook your meat, stirring frequently until it's tender. This part is going to take a little longer than usual because I'm using London broil instead of sirloin, so the meat will take a little longer to get tender. While the meat is cooking, soak 2 cups of rice in 4 cups of hot water. While the rice is soaking and the meat is cooking, add a little bit of your butter to a small pan over medium-high heat and toast half a cup of pine nuts until they're golden brown. Once the meat is tender, strain your rice, then add it to your pot and saute it with your meat, stirring constantly for about 3 minutes. Now add 5 cups of your broth and your pine nuts. Stir everything up, cover, and let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, reduce the heat to low and let it cook until most of the liquid is absorbed, about 20 to 30 minutes. While the hashwa is cooking, the turkey should have cooled down enough to be able to start pulling the meat. Pour half of your broth into another pot and pull all the turkey, putting the white meat in one pot and the dark meat in another pot. Once you're done pulling the turkey, while the hashwa is still cooking, add a little bit of your butter to the pan you cooked your pine nuts in. Then add half a cup of slivered almonds and a 1/4 cup of pine nuts and toast them until they're dark brown. Once the hashwa is done, we're ready to start plating. Put both of your pots of turkey on the stove for a couple minutes to heat it back up. The traditional way to plate it is on a large platter. You pile the hashwa in the middle and put the white meat on one side and the dark meat on the other. Then top it with your toasted almonds and pine nuts. And this is your traditional turkey with stuffing. But this doesn't look very appealing for a thumbnail, so we're gonna kick it up a notch.
Bam! Oh my goodness!
Did you know the 3 colors that entice hunger are red, yellow, and green? So I've added some tomatoes, lemons, and parsley here just to liven it up a little bit. This is such an easy recipe. Even if you don't make the hashwa, I definitely recommend trying the turkey. It's literally 3 ingredients, and there really is nothing like the experience of waking up to that smell. I just can't describe it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye, good night, and as always, bah humbug.